Hi everyone, this video is to show you how to create your note cards and your thesis so that you can get your quiz grade on both. So you're going to have two quiz grades, one is on your thesis and one is on your note card. So if you look at this handout that I gave you in class, and I'll kind of zoom in there, the due date might be different depending on what year this is, but either way, when you turn in your final thesis and note cards, you're going to have two quiz grades. And I wanted to tell you about the suggested target and number breakdown of the note cards. I recommend you either get colored note cards or you just use a highlighter to spice them up. So like this student did, what I have here are the thesis, well, the one thesis card and then the three source cards. So these are for the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. But obviously, if we are doing the paper on the Great Gatsby, your primary source card would be on the Great Gatsby. So as you see here, the first card is the thesis. Then we have the primary source card, just indicated by primary source in the corner. And then if it's the Great Gatsby, it would be the citation for the Great Gatsby. If it is the Huck Finn citation, it might look similar to this. And then we have source number one, which is the first secondary source in alphabetical order. Then source number two, also in alphabetical order. This is just indicated by source number two. And then you'll notice there's also a annotation just explaining why this student chose this source. And then source number three with an annotation. And like I said, these are in ABC order. You can have more than three secondary sources, but you need to at least have three secondary sources. So the nice thing about color coding all the cards is that you can see them visually, like all of the yellow, sorry, this is orange. All of the orange cards are from the primary source, indicated by primary source in the top corner. Each card, of course, is given an individual title, which is basically like an annotation saying what the information on the card is referencing, and then the page number in the corner. These are all the cards from the first secondary source. These are all the cards from the second secondary source. And then these are all the cards from the third secondary source. So like I mentioned to you, you need to make sure that you have at least two quotes from every secondary source, but 6 quotes total from your secondary sources are not going to be enough. So in the target breakdown on the paper, I mentioned you should have 10 quotes from your primary source. In this case, it's talking about Gatsby, and 5 from each secondary source. That's the goal. If you have 6 from one secondary source, 4 from another secondary source, and 5 from the last one, that's fine. Just don't count a source as valid or credible. I mean, I guess it could be valid or credible, but it wouldn't be an effective source if it does not have more than 2 quotes that you can use, or at least 2 quotes that you can use. So hopefully that clears it up. So you're turning in your thesis card, your source cards, which there's at least 3 with your annotation. You're turning in all of your quote cards with individual titles. Each title on every card is different. So this one's about rationalism, and this one's about Jim being thankful for Huck. So it just depends on what is happening in that particular card. And then you're making sure you have 25 cards in total, and that includes your source cards and your quote cards. I'm second guessing myself. Yes, sorry, 25 quote cards, and then you need your source cards and your thesis cards. So 30 total, 25 quotes, 4 sources at least, and then a thesis statement. Okay, good luck. Let me know if you have questions.